Welcome back to the Hope, the HOPE, helping our people elevate. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Hit that like button, share, and subscribe. To my returning viewers, as I always say, welcome back, family. Today we're going to go deep. We're going to go real deep into the cost of America's so-called greatness. This isn't about patriotism. This is about reality. This is about blood, betrayal, and buried legacies. Let's get into it. Peace and love.
On behalf of Akuno Senko for Bay, you know what I'm saying? Jay, where you at? We're trying to help our people elevate. Hope. HOPE. We're giving them hope. We doing what we gotta do, you know. Every day, one step at a time, man. We gonna make it happen. Helping our people elevate. Yeah. Sometimes I practice focus, thought, and meditate. I'm trying to come with other ways to help our people elevate and seeking knowledge, make me levitate. The lifted mental state is what results from how we orchestrate. This for the family's sake. Let's self-reflect and self-evaluate. And every day, make sure the steps you take, you calculate. Receive a master's fate. I know I can't exist without the hate, but that's okay. I balance that with higher self today. Success is on this way, and after that, my flesh can pass away.
They say, let's make America great again. But the question is, great for who? Have you ever stopped to think about all the so-called Black and Indigenous people who died so America could be what it is today? Not just the ones we learned from textbooks or protests, but the forgotten masses, those buried without names, without justice, without peace. From the genocides of Native nations to the slavery of African people, from the burning of Black Wall Street to the bombing of the MOVE movement, this country has always fed its power with blood. And today, we remember them. We'll tell the truth that America keeps always trying to bury under its flags and fireworks. Before Africans were brought in chains, indigenous people were being slaughtered. The so-called Indian Wars were not isolated conflicts. They were systematic genocide, legalized, weaponized, and celebrated, just as we do with Thanksgiving. The Trail of Tears alone displaced over 60,000 Native people, and thousands died from starvation, cold, and disease. The Sand Creek Massacre in 1864 saw U.S. troops slaughter over 200 Shawnee, mostly women and children. At Wounded Knee in 1890, the U.S. Army killed nearly 300 Lakota, and many of their bodies were left to freeze. They weren't just killing people, they were killing cultures, religions, language, and entire civilizations. Even children weren't spared. In Native boarding schools, they were beaten for speaking their language, renamed and brainwashed. The motto was, "Kill the Indian, save the man." The foundation of America, it's not freedom, it's theft and death. Then came the enslaved Africans, ripped from their homeland, chained in floating dungeons. According to their records, over 2 million died in the Middle Passage, thrown overboard like trash. The survivors were branded, auctioned, and forced into brutal labor. Sugar, cotton, tobacco, America's economy boomed, and its flag waved proudly over the backs of broken people. So tell me again, when was America great? But when slavery ended in 1865, the war on Black lives didn't stop. It evolved. Slavery gave way to Black codes that criminalized Black freedom. That gave way to convict leasing, slavery under another name, and lynching became a public spectacle. Postcards were made of burnt Black bodies. Children were brought to watch. White supremacy wasn't hidden, it was celebrated. By 1910, over 90% of Black farmers were landless, despite promises of 40 acres and a mule. Generational wealth? It was robbed. Justice? Well, denied. America didn't just enslave our bodies, it tried to enslave our futures. Every time Black communities rose, America tore them down. Colfax Massacre of 1873, in Louisiana, over 100 Black men were massacred for defending their rights to vote. Only one white man was ever convicted, and then the Supreme Court overturned it. Wilmington Coup of 1898 in North Carolina, white supremacists overthrew the multiracial government, killing dozens and forcing Black leaders into exile. East St. Louis, 1917, hundreds of Black workers were murdered by mobs for daring to take industrial jobs. The Elaine Massacre of 1919, Black sharecroppers organized for fair pay. In response, U.S. troops and white mobs killed over 200 people. Ocoee, Florida, 1920, after attempting to vote, Black residents were hunted down. Homes burned, lives lost, a whole town vanished. The Tulsa Massacre of 1921, Greenwood, known as Black Wall Street. It was bombed from the sky. Over 300 dead, 1,200 homes destroyed, generations of Black wealth erased overnight. Roseville, Florida, 1923, a false accusation triggered another massacre. The town was burnt to the ground, survivors fled, and were silenced for decades. The Move bombing in 1985 in Philadelphia, police dropped a bomb on a black liberation group. 11 people dead, 5 were children. The fire destroyed 65 homes. This isn't ancient history. This is America punishing black freedom again and again and again. The damage wasn't just physical, this was also psychological. Imagine being taught your history starts with slavery, that your culture is criminal, that your neighborhoods are dangerous, that your ancestors contributed to nothing. That's not education, it's indoctrination. So-called black or indigenous people were stripped of their names, religion, and stories. Entire languages erased, spiritual practices demonized, heroes forgotten or rewritten. Why? Because erasing history makes it easier to erase people in the present. And the war continues. Modern day slavery of today. Look at the prison systems. Black Americans make up at least 13% of the population, but nearly 40% of the incarcerated. Many prisons are in rural white communities that profit from bodies in cages. The modern day lynching. Look at Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, Sandra Bland, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Sonia Massey. The list goes on. DeAndre Starks, Robert Harris. There's so many I can continue naming. Gentrification. Black families pushed out of historical communities to make room for overpriced apartments and trendy cafes. Look how they do our communities. Environmental racism. Poison water in Flint, Michigan. Toxic plants in black neighborhoods. Hurricanes hitting poor communities hardest. The methods change, but the mission doesn't. But they say let's make America great again. But greatness built on genocide and slavery isn't greatness. It's bloodshed dressed in red, white, and blue. But through it all, we've survived. We've resisted. We've created culture, music, movements, and revolutions. From the plantations to the protests, from the cotton fields to Congress, we are still here. But this video isn't about mourning. It's about the truth. It's about memory. It's about refusing to be erased. America was built on dreams. It was built on stolen land and stolen labor. But we remember, and that memory is our weapon. Colfax, Wounded Knee, Tulsa, Move, Rosewood, McCoy, Elaine, Wilmington, Flint, Ferguson, Minneapolis. Say their names, tell their stories, and never ever forget.